Have you ever been asking yourself why you're always rejected when applying for a scholarship? Did you sit down one day and think about what is going on? Why are you applying for a scholarship and every time you receive a rejection email? Today, we are going to dive deep into that. We will discuss a common mistake a student make when applying for a scholarship. This is what we are going to discuss today. My name is Abraham Aguer. Please try to share this video with people whom you think can benefit from this. And you can subscribe to my YouTube so that you can get notification if I release a video. So we are going to dive deep into it. So we are going to talk about the common mistake that a student make when applying for a scholarship. One is the missing of deadline. Many students wait until the last minute to apply. So what you have to do is, once the application window open, the first thing you have to do is to check the deadline because it's very important. You cannot wait. You cannot wait. Maybe the deadline is set to be 31st of December and you are waiting. So you will start application later on the maybe 28, 29. You don't have time to prepare and you will end up missing the deadline because you will not get the required document needed. There are a lot of documents that you need to prepare in advance for you to get a scholarship. And if you are not ready enough, then you are going to miss the deadline. So it's one of the things that a lot of students don't follow. But today, make sure once the application window open, check the deadline and prepare your document in advance. Second to it is incomplete application. Missing document like transcript, recommendation letters, and essays. A lot of students, they will just rush. Once the application open, I've experienced this from most of the students. Once the application window open, they will just go through the form and start filling out everything, even without understanding what are the documents required for you for that scholarship. Every scholarship, every company has their own requirement that they need from you. And if you are just writing, you are not checking the document needed, and you end up submitting the incomplete application. In the back end of the application or in the back end of university system, that application is still ongoing application, and they will not review it because they are not sure. They will just think you are working on the application in the back end. So please make sure you submit all the required documents, including your transcript, the recommendation letters, and then essays. Make sure you reach out to people of goodwill to give you a very nice and extraordinary recommendation that can make you stand out. You need to prepare everything in advance. The third one is generic essays and personal statement. What do we mean by generic something? If we say generic essay, so a student will ask you about the challenges that you face and how they have shaped you. You will go and talk about, you are not specific to one. You will talk about 4 or 5 challenges that you face. Talk about one challenge that you face. Maybe when you were in your high school, you were navigating, you were having a problem with mathematics. That was a major challenge that you have. And it make you perform poorly in the class. Even though you were able to perform well in the rest of the subject, your grade will drop because of mathematics. And how it shaped you, you said, okay, looking at the situation I was in, I reached out to my peers, to teachers, and then book office hours. And I was able to navigate, right? I was able to improve on my mathematical skills, and then I was able to get the average. As I was continuing with my program and connecting with peers and mentors, I performed better to the extent I was getting a B average of B, which is a good statement. And what have you learned from that lesson? You have to talk about it. Maybe you have learned you need to connect with people. You don't need to work alone. Sharing knowledge is very important. All this stuff. You have to put everything together. But if you said, my problem is that I was a refugee. I was displaced in South Sudan. I don't have access to to quality education. I also have problem with mathematics in the class. I have problem with paying tuition fee. Mentioning a lot of problems. You are too generic, and they will not understand what you are saying. Pick only one problem that you think is very important for you. Put it in a go writing. As I always say, once you are done with your essay, give it to third party for them to go and review it, and they give you feedback. If you have to add something, they will tell you, please, can you kindly add this one? And then you have to go and add, or you can give it to someone who is going to edit that one for you. Okay. So we talk about the weak recommendation letters. Sometimes, there are some of the people that write a recommendation that cannot stand out. Maybe we said you went you go to a person and you said, please, can you kindly write a recommendation for me? The person will agree with you. Will just come up and say, Abraham is a very nice student. During my experience with him in my class, he was a very good high performing student, hardworking, and all this stuff. And then you say, I wish him the very best of luck. So you see, or I recommend this guy to your program and whatever. This is a very short recommendation that does not even add an impact to your file, which is your admission file. If you are writing a recommendation, please reach out to the person. Let the person know the project you have been working on. If you reach out to me and you say you need a recommendation from me, I will ask you about the project you have been working on, maybe in your high school or in your post, graduate programs outside the high school, right? Then if you give me the project that you are working on, I will come and narrate a better story that so and so did this project. It was able to establish, a cleanup campaign where people were able to clean the environment, the surrounding communities. And this was able to promote, personal hygiene and all this stuff. I will talk about that. And then if you were able to involve in some of the competition, like you participate in debate, I will be able to try this so and so participate in I debate for East Africa and it was awarded as best speaker or whatever, and then I have to narrate that on in detail. That's something very important so that when people go through your recommendation letter, they will be able to digest, to catalyze what you are saying. For you, yes, because it's very good. Sometimes you have a very good recommendation that somebody can digest. Add some ingredients in your writing. It's very good sometimes. All right. So these are some of the recommendations that you need. You don't need a recommendation from someone who is going to just write a half page or one page saying, this guy was hardworking. Everyone is hardworking. So if you are hardworking, who is not a hardworking person? Everyone is hardworking. So what you have to do, talk about the unique project that a student did, right? And then put them in a very good writing. Another problem is that a lot of teachers use ChatGPT to generate recommendation letters. I'm sorry to say teachers, but recommenders. They use AI generated prompts, which is not kind of good. These universities, they will detect if you were using AI or you were working for yourself. It's very good sometimes to be authentic as a person. Put everything in writing. It's not about writing a good, a very good grammar or whatever. It's about putting ideas together. People will understand they're human being like us. Admission team are human being. So please try to be authentic and don't use generated AI to write recommendation letters for a student. So we pay attention to the guideline, ignoring the word limits and specific prompt. When you are writing a recommendation, especially students who are applying to Common App now, in your personal statement, they said you have a limit of 650 words. That is what they give you. But again, you go ahead and write 700 words, 800 words. You don't check the word limit. It's a problem. And in the prompt said, tell us about the challenge that you had in your life and what did you learn from that problem? What were the, challenges and how did you overcome those? You have to answer everything that is asked in the question. And even before you start writing your personal statement, you start with the question. Ask yourself. They will ask you what are the challenges. First, think about the challenge you face or some of the challenges that you face. And they ask you again, what did you learn from the challenges and how they shaped you? See what you have learned from the challenges. See how they have shaped you, and then put them together and start writing. Put them together and start writing. And then later you can give it to third party to go and review it. If it match the prompt that is given, it's very important. Very important. Formatting. Sometimes, if they said you have to use the font size will be 12, time new rooms, and all this stuff, if they indicate those, please try to follow them. If they're not indicated, then you can do whatever you want. But it's very good sometimes to follow the instruction given. So a lot of students, you don't check your grammar, punctuation, and spelling sometimes. It's very good because these admission team, when they're going through the application or when they're reviewing the application form, sometimes they think about it. This student is this student going to to thrive in our campus. Because, outside here, things are not easy. They need someone who can express his or herself. They need someone who can write better. And if they are reviewing your essays, they are testing a level of your English proficiency. That means you should have a very good, at least a good grammar and a very good punctuation in place. And then at least correct your spelling errors. You might have a spelling. That's why it's very good sometime to start writing your essays 1 month before time and give it to another people to go and review them for you is very important. And so that when they're reviewing the application, they will see this person is very serious. He's able to put everything together. It's not about using big terms, but it's about writing authentic, be yourself. Try to be yourself. Write everything that is very important. Something that any person can read and understand. Okay? Put everything together is very important. Then lack of research on the scholarship. You want to apply to Africa Leadership University, you want to apply to HS University, what other university you want to apply. Again, you have not researched about the mission of the school. Like if you want to apply to HS, one of the things that you have to know is that HS mission is to educate ethical and entrepreneurial leaders in Africa. And if you don't have, you are not a good leader in your community, you don't have this entrepreneurial mindset, you are just somebody who want to come and study and go, they will not admit you. That's why sometimes it's very good to make a research about the values of school. Like Chelsea has a honor code. The honor code in the school where a student is responsible for your integrity. You are responsible for your own academic honesty or integrity. You don't need to cheat. You don't need to use generative AI to write your work. You don't need to copy your somebody work as yours. You have to reference everything. That is what we have at HS University. There are some other school, right? But when you are writing your essays, we check the values, the learning goals, and all this stuff for your school, and then put them in the writing. If you put those in the writing, they will trust you that this person has made a research about us, and we admit him is going to make a good use of the opportunity given to him. It's very important. Check, understand sometime what is going on in the school. You can even go ahead and check the clubs that are in school. Like if you want to come to a chess university, you check which club are at a chess and what are you going to do later. To maybe if you are admitted to a chess, you can write it in your essay that if I'm admitted to a chess university, I will go and participate in club A and club B and help collaborate with the student and make a positive impact in my community. These are some of the things that we have to do at least sometime. Is very important. And then when we talk about all this stuff, this thing, so these are some of the things that you should be very careful about. You should be very careful about. So these are some of the tips, but they are not important for your case now because you cannot use the logos or brand of another company. But they're nothing that concerns them here. They're very good for postgraduate students because when they are writing a proposal or another thing, right, it's very important for them. Okay. Thank you so much for paying attention to this. I'm going to release another video about the specific school application guide. You can put it in the comment section. Which school are you struggling with? And I will be able to come out with a video about that school, how to fill out the application form step by step. That's why you see I'm always using Zoom and show you my screen is because I want to show you what I'm doing. Instead of just coming with the camera and just talking, you will just be watching me. It's not very important. What is important is the context. That means when we are doing the application for each university, what is very important is seeing the application form and what I'm doing so that you can go and do the same. So cheer on other people to go and learn is very important. Thank you so much. See you again.